Alright everyone, welcome back to my channel, Baseball Talk with Hank Morgan. So today we're going to be going ahead and highlighting and recapping the 2019 Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Now last night, the 90th ever Midsummer Classic game took place, and it was a fun one. It went back and forth a little bit, and the score was final 4-3. So we're going to talk about how everyone scored and how all the runs came across the plate. We're also going to talk about just interesting things I thought I'd share with you guys and the history of the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. So make sure you guys stay tuned for each and every point that I mentioned in this video, because I don't think you're going to want to miss any of it. The All-Star Game was amazing last night. I only saw a couple of innings, more towards the end, but very fun. And we have a lot to talk about here. So we're going to kick it off with the scoring plays. In the bottom of the second, outfielder for the Houston Astros usually, but starting off in left field for the All-Star Game, Michael Brantley doubled to center fielder Ronald Acuna Jr., and Brantley would bring in his teammate Alex Bregman from the Astros, and that'd be the first run of the game, so it'd be a quick 1-0 start and lead for the American League. In the bottom of the fifth, the AL continued to tack on a little more runs here with Jorge Polanco. He hit a single to second baseman Max Muncy, and Gary Sanchez would score. This will now be a 2-0 game. And we're going to take a quick timeout here to talk about this single. Now, Polanco hit this ball close to up the middle, and Max Muncy of the Dodgers, playing second base, went out and dove for the ball. He had it in his glove, and he double clutched and made the throw over to first base, who was actually Pete Alonso at the time. Now, Muncy kind of did one of these, which is what we call a double clutch in baseball, and if he got the ball out of his glove a little quicker, it would have been an out. Now, I don't recall how many outs there were when Polanco had this hit, so I don't know if Sanchez would have scored or not, but Max Muncy was just a couple seconds late of getting Jorge Polanco out, or potentially getting him out. It was a great defensive play nonetheless, and congratulations to Max Muncy. Just the defense was stellar last night for him. And for the American League and National League combined, there were no errors last night, which was kind of crazy to think about. In the top of the sixth, the National League would plate their first run as Charlie Blackmon hits a home run to center field off the Oakland Athletics pitcher Liam Hendricks. This would be now a 1-2 game. The American League is still in first, and they are winning, but the National League had kind of cut their lead in half. In the bottom of the seventh, Boston Red Sox Xander Bogaerts grounds into a double play, but Matt Chapman does score, making it a 2-run game now as it's 3-1 in the bottom of the seventh. And continuing on later that inning, Joey Gallo's like, hey, we're not done scoring yet. Gallo, Texas Rangers outfielder, went ahead and hit a home run to right field. This ball got out quickly as the exit velo was 111.5 miles per hour, and that was off of the Giants' Will Smith. It was actually Will Smith's first pitch of the game. He had just come in, and he gave up a home run. That's going to be a 4-1 game now in the AL's favor. In the top of the eighth, so shortly thereafter, Pete Alonso had just won the home run derby. He's a great rookie with the Mets, hitting 30 home runs in the first half of the regular season. And now he's going to hit a single to, ironically enough, Joey Gallo out there in left field. Yasmani Grandal and David Dahl are going to score. It's now a 3-4 ball game. The American League's up by just one run. However, it would end there. No one scored after the top of the eighth inning, and Aroldis Chapman got the save for the AL in the ninth. So your winning pitchers are Masahiro Tanaka with a 0.00 ERA in the All-Star game. The losing pitcher is Clayton Kershaw, as he had a 9.00 ERA, and the save went to Aroldis Chapman with a 0.00 ERA. He struck out the side in the top of the ninth to end it. Now we have some points to cover, and we're going to start off with the Midsummer Classic MVP. Now this went to Shane Bieber, which is a little interesting because he was representing Cleveland in his hometown, and he had actually just found out he was going to be an All-Star Friday night. He was replacing Mike Minor because of an injury. He went ahead and in the fifth inning struck out the side, which consisted of Wilson Contreras, Ketel Marte, and Ronald Acuna Jr. And because of that was his only appearance, he won the MVP award. Now this is a little controversial here. I know a lot of people on Twitter were kind of going back and forth on whether he deserved it or not. The voting was open very early and actually closed pretty early as well. So not a lot of people, I don't think, took into consideration the point that Joey Gallo hit a nice home run, that Charlie Blackmon hit a nice home run, even though the National League lost. And just in general, I mean, it's interesting because Shane Bieber, again, it was a great moment for him. Don't get me wrong. He struck out the side in his first ever All-Star game. He's a very young player, and he came in with his home team and made the fans happy in Cleveland. But you had some other guys who really deserved it. Joey Gallo home run, Charlie Blackmon home run. Aroldis Chapman struck out the side as well and won the save in the ninth inning. So it just kind of comes down to a little bit of everything here. People voted for Shane Bieber, though, and he deserves it. He picked a red truck from Chevy. He won his bat trophy, and that was pretty much it. So, in the beginning of the game, CC Sabathia was honored with the first pitch. And actually, if you guys remember, if you guys were watching baseball and old enough to kind of remember, back in 2007, he had won a Cy Young Award with the Cleveland Indians. Now, I was only 3 at the time, but from what I heard, he had a very great year. From what I saw in his numbers, spectacular. Cy Young Award winner, and that was, again, in 2007. So he came back since he is retiring after the 2019 season. The Cleveland Indians invited him to throw out the first pitch, and in my personal opinion, the ball was a little high. I don't think it was necessarily called strike. But it was a great pitch. CC Sabathia will never forget that moment. Fans gave him standing ovations. Pretty much everyone, if you're an Indians fan, Yankees fan, or just any fan just at the game. So that was really cool to see. Now, I'm sure most of you probably know about Tyler Skaggs, who unfortunately passed away last week. He was a pitcher for the Los Angeles Angels, and he was honored last night by his former teammates Mike Trout and Tommy La Stella. Both of them wore number 45, Skaggs' number, in the All-Star game to remember him. And actually, almost every Major League Baseball player had a 45 sticker on their jersey. And I say almost just because some players' stickers fell off and they did not play with them either the entire game, or they just didn't notice they were off and didn't play with them for a little bit of the game. Now, that is a little upsetting just because you want everyone to be out there in unity and come together to remember Skaggs, but I think everyone did their part. They kept him in mind. Major League Baseball kept him in mind. A lot of teams, the day it happened and the day after it happened, had a moment of silence for him, and it's just very unfortunate. You hate to see this happen. It's happened a couple of times in the last couple of years, and it's just very upsetting. But Tyler Skaggs will be missed by many and everyone who loves baseball. So it was very nice of, again, Trout, La Stella, and just everyone who participated in the All-Star game to kind of remember him while they're out there playing. So on a better topic here, we're going to be talking about the history of the All-Star game. Now, the American League has come out dominant in most of these games, as they have won 45, lost 43, and tied twice to the National League. So they do have that winning standing here. They have the better win percentage over the National League, but that could change in years to come. So with the American League winning 4-3 last night, they secured their 7th straight win when it comes to the Midsummer Classic. And they have won 19 out of their past 23. Now, 23 is kind of like a random number. Why do I mention that? Well, it's because in 1997, 23 All-Star games ago, it was hosted at Progressive Field, home of the Cleveland Indians. So now that last night was at Progressive Field, we took the numbers from 1997 and 2019 and everything in between, and we put together the 19 wins for the AL. Now, I don't know if that counts the tie back in 2002 or not, but there was a tie in between that as well. So, if we're talking about the runs scored for both sides, the American League has scored 373 runs in all 90 Midsummer Classics combined, compared to only the National League's 370. So a difference of 3 runs and 2 games win-loss wise. So that's kind of crazy that it's so close, but this is the best of the best coming together and play one night of baseball, and it's amazing. I love the All-Star game. And actually, American League, again, we're going to be talking about them, but the pitchers combined last night for 16 strikeouts, the most ever in a 9-inning All-Star game. So very cool to see some history being made last night. Now, if we talk about some more records here and how the American League has done in recent years, the American League won 5 straight All-Star games from 1997 to 2001, and then they tied in 2002, like I mentioned. But following that tie, they won 7 straight thereon as well. So that's a total of 13 straight All-Star games without a loss, and that is the longest uninterrupted All-Star win streak. And or that's almost one of the longest win streaks, because that 2002 tie does not count. Sorry, I read that wrong. But the All-Star win streak technically is 11. That was accomplished by the National League from 1972 to 1982. And I took that from Major League Baseball At-Bats article regarding some numbers on last night's All-Star game. Now, after a brief 3-game win streak by the National League from 2010 to 2012, the AL has not lost since. And the American League now leads all-time series, as I mentioned before, 45, 43, and 2. So that's really cool to talk about there. I mean, the All-Star game has always been one that I enjoy. I think all Major League Baseball fans enjoy, because, again, you're seeing some of the top-notch players on both sides come together and play. And it's just cool to see what they can do in a one-night game. The All-Star Game, the Home Run Derby, all these events in the break here that we have every year in July. It's just really fun to watch. So guys, thank you so much for watching. That is going to end this video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to drop a like down below, comment, and subscribe. Comment down below a year in advance who you think is going to win the 2020 All-Star Game. Thank you all so much for watching. You guys have been amazing recently with the support, subscription-wise and view-wise. Let's keep that up with this video and all videos going forward. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Peace.